You're listening to No Limits, a PlayStation podcast, episode 26. And it's me, Taylor. I'm back after like 6 weeks, and I beat God of War today, 2 months after release. I'm joined by Bree and Ethan. I want to go play the intro now. Hello, everybody. Welcome, and you're listening to No Limits, a PlayStation podcast. My name is Taylor, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Brianna and Ethan. And I'm back after, like I said, 5 to 6, 7.
I feel like in the spirit of like
weeks
the goofing off we always do on this podcast, where we introduce ourselves as the other person, I feel like you should have introduced yourself as Brianna.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that would have been pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, too late.
Too late.
Now.
Okay.
Too late.
Yeah. Remember, you can find the video version of this podcast over on youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia every Tuesday. While you're over there, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you'd rather listen to audio, we're on all your favorite podcast services, and would love it if you could leave us a review. It helps us grow, and we would love any feedback. If you want to support us and get early access to all Save the Game Media content, head over to patreon.com/SaveTheGameMedia and choose the tier that's right for you. Just like our current patrons did: Lucky Blue, Hopple, Alpaca Tom, Aman, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Anna Hudak, Nikolai at Night, Cypher Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, Mimi J, The Snack Network, and Dave Hotright. So please go over to patreon.com/SaveTheGameMedia to check it out. You can also look it up on youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia and interact with us in the Discord. Links in the show notes. So, I'm back, guys. How are we doing, Bree and Sam?
There's so much happening right now.
I'm doing pretty good for what it's worth. I had COVID. I'm coming off of it now. I didn't really have too many symptoms. There was a lot of weird stuff, like water smelling funny. And then one night I ate dinner and immediately it felt like a bomb went off in my stomach. And I thought I had to puke, but I didn't. Luckily, I just drived a couple times. But weird symptoms going around the house. I don't know what's happening here.
This brings up like what happened to me this week. So basically what I did, I don't know why I did this. I'm lactose intolerant, just in case you guys like I think you guys know, but just in case listeners don't know. It's not like severe or anything, like I'm not gonna die, but like I shouldn't. And so like I had a day where I don't know what I had. I don't know if it was a drink. I don't know if it was food. I got so bloated. I was like so bloated. Like my stomach was just like so bad. And the next day I was like still bloated. I was like, man, I'm not having a good time. You know what I had for dinner? I had quesadillas.
Well.
Third day hits. I'm still bloated, of course. Like nothing's been done to fix this. I had quesadillas again for lunch.
You just don't care, do you? You're just giving up.
It was so bad because I kept forgetting because I was just like, oh, this sounds good. And then I'm like, oh my God, why is my stomach still hurting? I was like,
have like a nice bowl of ramen.
We did. We had udon last night for dinner. It was really good.
Or I guess you could get bloated on ramen. I don't know.
You could. A
lot of salt.
I have put cheese in ramen before.
Tomato soup and crackers. All right. How about I can't get much more plain.
Water.
Well, see, but if you have tomato soup, you have to have grilled cheese with it.
Exactly. That's the big thing. And Parmesan on the tomato soup. I don't know about you guys. I put Parmesan on my tomato soup.
Absolutely. Especially if it's like the fresh grated Parmesan.
Oh. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, with the microplane.
So
yep.
Good.
But I think you're just trying to train your body to accept lactose again. I think you've made your decision. You said, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm taking back my life. And you need to figure it out, or this is how it's going to be forever. So
have lactase pills ever worked for you?
Yeah, I just forget to take them.
Okay, now I don't feel bad for you anymore.
That's what I've heard from multiple.
They work totally. They work perfectly. Yeah,
they work great.
There's no issues if I take my lactate pill. I just don't.
All right, well, do this to yourself.
I absolutely do. I don't even need dairy. Like none of the stuff I'm having is stuff that I need. Like it's just.
Oh, I need cheese.
Yeah, you have to have cheese in your life.
I used to get fondue like all the time. That sounds like crazy, but there was this like cheese blend that they sold at the local grocery store in Utah. It's like a mountain blend, and we used to just like get it and just like eat like bread and stuff. It was so good.
Yeah.
No kidding. Awesome.
I love
it.
cheese.
I mean,
right, well,
yeah.
That was my
Wonderful.
week. How was your week?
Nice bloated week.
Pretty good. Procrastinating on some things I have to do before I move a long distance.
Classic.
Yeah. And I also, I put a hefty amount of time into God of War Ragnarok, and I beat it this afternoon.
Good.
40 hours, and I did a lot of side stuff.
Yes.
I didn't do so much of the like there's a lot. This is without spoilers. There's some like a lot of fetch quest or like collectible quest. Like I didn't really do much of those. I did the meaty side quests that have actual like story centric objectives to go through. And
now let me ask: did you roll the second credits or just the first one?
Oh, you're not done.
Just the first one is
You
there.
ain't done.
Okay, wait a
You'll
second.
know if it's the second
you didn't
credits
say
because
yes
it's
right
like
away,
the
you're not
actual
done, yeah.
credits.
Do I need to complete a certain side quest to run second credits?
Yes.
I think I know which side quest that is. So you
You know
It's
which
very
one it
obvious.
is. Yeah, it's very obvious.
Okay, I'm gonna go do that next time I play. So
Okay,
then
that's
have
good
I
to know.
officially?
I'd say you officially beaten it. You can record it
officially
as a
beat
beaten
it.
game, but like you
Yeah.
really do want to
I
go
really
do
want to go
this
back and
side
do side
quest.
credits. Okay, I could
Yes.
go also watch on YouTube. But
I would recommend doing
but I'll
it.
probably go
But
do it.
it's a trophy, so you might as well go do it yourself,
Yeah.
you know?
I'm not a big trophy guy, but if worst comes to worst, I'll just look up locations of some of the things that I have to do for that quest.
Oh no, it's just you go to
It's
one area and you
straightforward.
watch cutscenes and
Wait, maybe I'm not thinking of. Talk to you guys
offline about it. We'll talk offline about it.
Yeah.
Now I wanted to ask you a question, Taylor. With your move coming up, you were joking about it in Discord, but the big question that's on everyone's mind is how are you moving the PS5? Are you actually shipping this thing through the mail?
It's either that or I bring it on the airplane. The issue is, oh yeah, that's the thing. I'm not driving. I'll be taking an airplane. So it's like,
Are you shipping your car?
Yeah.
Why don't you pack it in the car?
That's what I'm thinking, but I'm not sure what the policy is. Like the policy might differ depending on what vendor I get, and I won't know that until I'm ready to ship the car. So it's like, and if they allow me to put something in the trunk, I'm definitely putting my PC in it. If I have if I have to put like one large tech item in the trunk and I only can put one, it's going to be the PC, not the PS5.
I feel like most companies will let you just shove stuff in because when I ship my truck twice throughout my time in the Navy.
They let you put stuff
in the packed bed? It full in the not in the bed, but in like the cabinet, in the front seat, in the back seat. Like it was packed to the brim with stuff. Yeah, they're just loaded up as long as I can get in the driver's seat to drive it off. They're like, yeah, let's go.
Maybe I'll pack it. If I could do that, that would be great. I'll pack all my tech in there discreetly with blankets and different boxes and
bubble wrap the crap out of it.
Yeah. That would be ideal for transporting all my tech.
My recommendation would be to use one of those carry-ons that's the hard case carry-on that has the split. So you can pack clothes on one side, because you'll have to have clothes, right? Because you won't have your stuff. You pack clothes on one half of it, you pack the PS5 on the other half, because there's no way the PC is going in there, right? So you pack the PS5 on the other half, so that way you have the PS5 cushioned with both the carry-on and like the clothing. And then you can just have your little like backpack for under the seat that has like if you got like an iPad, laptop, whatever. Yeah. So.
Ooh, good point. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'm definitely not bringing the PC on the plane. PS5 would be probably the biggest tech item I'd bring. I do have the disc model, so it is a little extra, a little bit bulkier than the digital model, but
see what you can do though is if you have like especially if you're not putting like any sort of box or whatever, you can like use like socks and stuff. Like socks are the best
use clothes,
for like padding stuff. So
good.
It'll be okay. And plus you have control over like where it's going. That's for me. Like that's what I always need to have like control over where my PlayStation is going, where my PC is going, stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
definitely. Hopefully I can just do it over the vendor I ship my car in, but we'll see.
They should let you do it. I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
It'd be weird.
Okay, yeah. So, okay. Fingers crossed. I can do that safely and easily. At least I can bring my Switch on the plane without any issue on my like personal item. When I move. It's like
I always have an issue with my Switch because I can't both of my Joy-Cons have gone out at this point.
Gone
and
out,
so
like they stopped working, or you lost them?
They're drifting.
Oh, they're drifting. Yeah,
they're drifting. I can send them in to get fixed. I'm too lazy.
You can buy new ones for relatively cheap.
Oh, Nintendo.
Yeah, but
like,
I have
Joy-Cons.
a pro controller. Like I have like a handheld
yeah, you don't
controller,
need
so I
Joy-Con.
can't take it on planes and stuff because like it's like kind of weird to like set it up on the stand and just like sit like this.
Have you ever seen? There's something called the fixture. You can look it up on Amazon. It's called the fixture.
Where it's like it attaches it to the
S1,
controller.
yeah, where it's a clamp that attaches to the pro controller, and you can have this, and on the other side of the clamp is a mount to put the Switch tablet. So then you play the Switch with the pro controller mounted right under it.
Yeah, I've seen those,
handheld.
and I might end up getting one for Japan because that's like a 12-hour flight both ways.
Yeah, the weight balance, it's centered on the center of the pro controller, but it is definitely a heavier gameplay session, like literally.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we'll see what I do.
I think worst case like scenario, like I'll at least back up all my vital PC files before I do anything with moving it, and like
that's the move.
I'll at least have my PC and my crummy laptop with me if everything else gets washed away.
Yep.
I'd be able to recover, and like if worst comes to worst, I have saved data that's synced to the cloud on PlayStation Plus. Like if I had to, unfortunately, like eventually rebuy PS5, at least my data would be preserved.
Yeah.
I'm definitely playing my PS5 nowadays more often than I usually do because I'm right now in an in-between time in my life where like I'm back home before I move, and it's like I don't feel like unboxing my PC when I'm gonna box it up again in 3.5 weeks. So it's like I'm working off my laptop right now, my not so good laptop, and for gaming it's just PS5 with my like 22-inch 1080p monitor, and it still does the job. Like God of War.
Yeah.
I just downloaded a Plague Tale Innocence earlier tonight because I was feeling a little zany, and I decided to download Plague Tale.
Now Kevin's not going to stop asking you questions about it until you beat the game. You've committed yourself at this point.
Painsworth wants me to play this.
Hey, we're making him play Bloodborne.
Oh hell yeah!
I think we got to give him something, right?
For listeners who don't know, for the Make Me Suffer tier of Patreon, we can make Kevin play a game that he doesn't want to play. And on the voting, Bloodborne is one of the options for this coming month or a couple of months, and right now it's winning if it hasn't already won. So what I'm really hoping for is the timeline where like after 10 hours the game actually clicks with Kevin.
It's not gonna that's not gonna happen.
And he gets into like Elden Ring right
Absolutely not.
Dude, anything can happen.
But the thing is like what I think is, this is my theory of what's going to actually happen. He's going to go into negative Nancy. He's going to be like, I'm going to hate this game, right? So because he's going into it with the wrong mentality, he's going to hate it. That's just what happens with Dark Souls games. So he plays the 10 hours, he drops it, then a year or two passes, and then he's like, I have a craving for a game. I can't figure it out what it is.
You guys.
And the From Software game has come back to haunt him.
The combat.
That's what happened to me. Genuinely, that is the story of what happened to me. I hated Dark Souls. I because I tried to play Dark Souls, like the first one, not the remake. It was before the remake existed.
Yeah, same. I've heard the edition on PC, which is not the remaster.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. Remaster, not remake. And so I hated Dark Souls. I was like, I don't understand why anybody would play this. This is the worst experience ever. And I was so angry with my boyfriend at the time for even recommending me this game. And then like 2-3 years later, I was like, I have this weird craving. Maybe I should try this again. So I picked up Dark Souls 3. And that was it.
I'm going to tell y'all, as the person at Save the Game Media who probably talks to Kevin the most, I can guarantee you neither of those scenarios will happen. He will play his 10 hours. He probably won't finish his 10 hours. I'll try and keep him honest, but he's not going to do the full 10. He's not going to do it.
I'll withhold his turn-based RPG privileges if he doesn't do the full 10 hours.
You can't play One Piece Odyssey until he finishes 10 hours.
Yeah.
Hey,
so right now it is winning. So it's 4 votes total. It has 2 votes on Bloodborne. So if you want to vote too,
if you're a patron,
please join the Patreon. If you haven't voted already, please. No, this one's a higher tier.
You have to do the higher tier for the Make Me Suffer.
The Make Me Suffer tier.
5.
All right, 5.
Let me look. Yeah, it's the $5 tier.
So I think Snack Network is on there, if I remember correctly. I know my wife's on there. I don't know if she did her vote yet. So I think I'm not going to be that guy that tells her what to vote for.
No, I'm not saying that she. No. You don't have to tell her what to vote for. Tell her to vote.
Yeah,
And all I'm
I'll make
saying
sure she's voting.
is Bloodborne is one of these options, and I
Mhm.
think this will make Kevin suffer.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's my argument.
Yeah. At least Kevin's good at video games. He has that on his side.
Dark
but is
Souls
he
are a
good at from
different
software
beast.
video
Yeah.
games? That's the question. There's a big difference.
He'll get through it.
Yeah,
Fine.
he'll be fine. He'll live. He'll play
Bree.
another 50 this year. He'll
He's like
forget about it.
emotionally scarred.
He can't
Right.
play video games anymore.
Bree, how has your week been going around the horn here?
Me?
What have you been playing? Yeah.
Oh, what have I been playing? I was gonna say I've been bloated all week. I don't know what you're
Oh wait, yeah, you said that.
No,
so we went through Ethan, then me, and then but then you
well,
said the bloated thing.
yeah, I mean that's all I've I've been like crocheting a lot.
Mm.
Okay.
What else have I been doing? I've been watching a lot of anime because like this week is the new season. So we're starting winter 2023 of anime.
Okay.
And so like this last week, and then this week I've been like catching up on other anime. I don't know if you saw Ethan. I finished Licorice Recoil in like 2 days.
Yeah, I still haven't finished it. It take a while.
It was so good. It was so good. But yeah, I just like have been trying to catch up on some anime. Been crocheting while I watch anime. I don't think I've been playing any video games. I think I burnt myself out by
There's
playing
not a lot of
video
games
to
coming
try
out,
and
if
get
any.
stuff.
So
Fire Emblem.
now's the time.
Well, so I have a couple
Dead Space
games
remake?
coming up.
No, I meant the first 2 weeks of January. Next 2 weeks are gonna go crazy. Don't
Oh
worry
yeah.
about it.
Oh.
And then I'm in Japan when Harry Potter comes out. That was a mistake. I didn't think about it.
Harry
I didn't think about it.
Potter.
Yeah.
Harry Potter Puppet Pals. That's my Harry Potter right there.
I respect that. That's a good
I
shout out.
remember that. That's
a
old
good
school
shout out.
The
YouTube.
Wizard Square, or what was it called?
I don't remember any of it, but I remember it being
That was like a
thing.
short where Dumbledore like was bleeped the entire duration
Yeah.
of like the YouTube videos. I was crying laughing at like 9 years old when I saw
Oh
that.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So funny.
What a good time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyways, yeah, I haven't been playing video games because
It's okay.
I have tons of games to play. To be very clear, my backlog is massive.
Backlog.
No one ever gets to those.
Yeah.
So I forgot something to mention that I forgot to mention on God of War. I turned the difficulty down to normal because on Give Me a Challenge, there was a point where I was spending like 20 minutes on each major enemy encounter in the story, and I'm like, I don't. At this rate, I'm starting to not enjoy this.
Yeah.
This monotony. So I turned it down to normal, and then I started breezing through everything. I wish there was an in between difficulty between normal and Give Me a Challenge.
There needs to be difficulty sliders.
But sliders like Last of Us Part 2 has difficulty sliders.
Yeah. I don't know why that's not the stand. I know it can probably be difficult to tune it. Like I'm sure it's much harder to program a difficulty slider than it is
at least let
presets.
me do the damage on a slider, and let players augment that.
Yeah. Make it really customizable.
Yeah, but that's my only real gripe. I think my only real gripe with the game is difficulty balance from normal to challenge seems too steep.
Just wait until you start fighting those Valkyries. Or not Valkyries, the what are they called?
The challenges?
The guys at the gravestones.
I've started fighting the berserkers. I've started fighting the berserkers. I also took down a couple dragons so far on side.
Woof. Yeah.
Gotcha. Oh, I defeated
even when I went around, like I literally like upgraded all of my armor to max level. Like I was maxed up on everything.
They're tough.
And they were still kicking my butt.
Yeah, they are a challenge. I love it though.
Yeah. Some of the realm tears are good. I love going back to like a level 5 realm tear when I was like level 7 and being like, yeah, I remember this is tough. What didn't I? And then I just smelled through them.
So satisfying.
Yeah. All right. Getting into the news this week. Some really cool news that came out. I guess I'll start with well, let me back up. Do either of you guys really want to do the first story?
Yes.
Not particularly.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'd do it as in, talk about it, but not reading it.
Oh, I thought you meant like, are we just not going to read it? And I was like,
no. I meant like, do either of you guys really want to read the first story?
No, you can read it. I don't.
It's a lot of reading.
Right?
You got this.
All right.
I don't know how to read.
It's okay. Neither does a lot of the internet. So PlayStation announced Project Leonardo. So PlayStation announced Project Leonardo for PS5, which is, quote, a highly customizable accessibility controller kit. Announced at CES, this controller kit works out of the box to allow disabled gamers to play easier, more comfortably, and for longer. So this controller for audio listeners, well, I guess, and people on YouTube, is, if you haven't seen it, it's basically almost like a disc or a puck of different buttons that you can, and a stick that you can access in a circular panel on a flat form factor. So you can mount it on you can put it on a table, mount it on a tripod or a wheelchair, stuff like that. And the gaming accessibility organizations, Able Gamers, Special Effect, and Stack Up were consulted on Leonardo's design. And Leonardo worked together with third-party accessibility accessories. And hardware features include swappable analog sticks, stick caps, buttons, and customizable analog stick to gamepad distance. So if your stick is too far away from your buttons, you can customize that distance between the two, depending on your restrictions or disabilities. And this helps address differences in strength, range of motion, and other physical needs. Software customizations feature button mapping and saved control profiles, and Leonardo can be used standalone or in tandem with more Leonardo or DualSense controllers. So 2 Leonardo controllers and 1 DualSense can be brought together to act as one controller in practice. And Leonardo also has 4 3.5mm auxiliary ports to support external switches and other third-party equipment. And like I said, it can be laid flat on a table due to its split symmetric design, or it can be mounted as well as have its north orientation, its quote north orientation, reprogrammed to match the user's specific setup, right? So I think it's like if you were to like press up on this, if a game prompts you to press a stick in the upwards direction, well, if your controller is oriented 90 degrees away from normal, your up direction is now offset. So you can change that north direction to make it align with your setup. And this comes to us from Hideaki Nishino. Is that right, Bree? A PlayStation blog? Oh, yeah, I pronounced it right. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I think this is awesome, to be honest. I did not see this coming at all. Obviously, PlayStation has a great track record with accessibility options in their games like The Last of Us Part 2, The Last of Us Part 1, God of War Ragnarok, and they've developed a good reputation for that. But I didn't see this accessibility controller coming. What do you guys think?
Oh man, I'm so excited about this. Like this makes me genuinely so happy, especially if it launches and in practicality works and allows so many more people to play games. Like this will make me so happy. Because the thing is like games should be accessible. Like we should already be to this point. So to see it move forward is like it's really good. Really encouraging to see stuff like this because like everybody deserves to be able to play games, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's obviously incredible. Xbox for the longest time has been leading the charge with their adaptive controller series that they've done for the last couple of years, and we've always talked about how we want the other 2 major console manufacturers to have this option for people with physical disabilities, and now Sony has it. So, 2 out of the 3 manufacturers, I'll definitely take it. Nintendo needs to figure out a way to do this, I think, because it's just a good thing for the industry when more people can come in and play. Because I don't think it takes that much effort to put some R&D into these accessibility features. It's obvious that they've been doing that, which is a great thing, and hopefully this is the start of something new, and we can get some even better controllers going forward. Obviously, Sony has been leading the charge with software accessibility. Some of their accessibility settings in their most recent first-party games have been completely top-notch. The Last of Us Part 1 remake had some incredible accessibility features that I utilized. God of War Ragnarok has some incredible accessibility features that a lot of people in the community really enjoyed. So good on Sony for doing this. Good on Xbox for having the adaptive controller that they are using. And it's just great to see these 2 industry giants making a focus on this group of gamers, which may not be a lot of people, but it's good that they are now able to play these games.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Now, one question I had is, what do you guys think the price point would be on this for 1 Leonardo controller? I'm thinking
same as a DualSense, maybe, I guess. I don't know.
I'm thinking it'll be $100.
I think so I think like in terms of like cost, I think that they may end up eating a little bit of cost on this. just because like the way that the controller looks and like the technology and stuff. I personally feel like it would make sense for it to be more than $100, but I suspect that they'll take that and just make it $100 because like I don't think it'd be fair for it to be super expensive because then it's like again pushing on the accessibility thing.
Yeah. So the Xbox adaptive controller is $99.99 MSRP, and it's fully customizable. So obviously, when you buy that controller, you get to go in and you do specific things depending on what disability someone might have. You obviously get different functions for the controller. I'm assuming this is going to be the same process where you go in and you kind of customize the thing to whatever needs you have. So I think $99.99 is probably the price they would put this at, industry standard for an adaptive controller like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Gotcha. I wasn't aware the Xbox's counterpart was also $100. So yeah, I expect them to put it right there. So let's see. How much is the series controller? So I guess that's not a good comparison because we're going back to regular controllers, but still, that's I think less than $100 or at $100 max. I think is the ideal price point.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Who wants to talk about unions?
Ooh, I can do this.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Zenimax QA workers are now forming a union. Microsoft is now the second AAA gaming publisher to have its workforce unionize. 300 workers came out in support of the unionization. Oh my goodness. The union agreed to support the Activision Blizzard King acquisition in exchange for Microsoft taking a neutral stance toward union activity. A Microsoft representative said, quote, in light of the results of the recent unionization vote, that word is difficult for me to say, we recognize the Communication Workers of America as the bargaining representative for the quality assurance employees at Zenimax. We look forward to engaging in good faith negotiations as we work towards a collective bargaining agreement, end quote. Senior QA tester at Zenimax, Victoria Banos, said, quote, we want to put an end to the sudden periods of crunch, unfair pay, and lack of growth opportunities within the company. Our union will push for truly competitive pay, better communication between management and workers, and a clear path for those that want to progress in their career and more, end quote. Kotaku reported last year that there was crunch and poor treatment of Zenimax QA workers, especially during Fallout 76's development. This comes courtesy of Brennan Sinclair at gamesindustry.biz. Okay, so union, Zenimax, Microsoft is recognizing it voluntarily. What do you think about that, Taylor?
Oh, thanks for picking me. I think it's cool that Microsoft, that they acknowledged it. Also, and this was a little bit part of a deal that, not a little bit, there was part of a deal that, right, the union in exchange for being in favor of the ABK acquisition Microsoft would remain neutral on the union, or at least not oppose it.
That part was weird because I don't even know why a union would oppose that in the first place. It doesn't really have anything to do with their own area.
I mean, it directly influences the type of products and infrastructure that will come into the company. So I could see why. Like, it's a big change to the company, but either way, I think it's good that Microsoft is supporting it. It's a good precedent, especially for QA testers and other, usually when it comes to workers who need a union the most in industry, it's usually ones that are more hourly and traditionally paid a bit less than their white collar counterparts. And in terms of the games industry, QA testers fit that mold a relatively significant amount. Right, they're the ones who have, quote unquote, boots on the ground, making sure your game works okay, making sure that the bugs are taken care of, and that they go through all these rigorous checklists to make sure that the game is performing as it should be before it's shipped off and going gold to the consumer. So, they're a vital part of the industry, and them unionizing, I think, is really important to the health of the industry overall. And if you have, usually when you have a union, you have better working conditions for the worker, and if you have better working conditions for people who are checking the game's quality, I think it'll end up just giving higher quality games. So I think it's a win all around, personally. But yeah.
Yeah, that word you used, precedent. I think that's the most important thing here because Microsoft, I mean, this is a $1 trillion company we're talking about here. One of the biggest in the world, definitely the biggest corporation in the video game space. The one with the most money behind it. Maybe not the best in console sales, I know, but the one with the most money behind it. And the fact that it's voluntarily recognizing this union sends a message to the rest of the gaming world, basically saying, hey, if Microsoft, this massive company that could pay lawyers millions of dollars to do whatever it wants, if Microsoft isn't even bothering with the hassle on this, why would you do that? Why would you go out of your way to try and hassle a workforce that's trying to unionize? So really good precedent is set here. I hope it continues. I know Raven Softworks QA testers unionized not too long ago. I think they did get pushed back by Activision, but Activision is about to get bought out by Xbox, so that's probably not going to matter anymore after a while. So good on Microsoft. Brianna, what do you think about all this union stuff?
So I personally feel like I would love to see more of this. So quality assurance, I think, is very like obviously they're a very important part of making the game, but they're also one of the first sets of people to go when the game is done. Because once the game is done,
Right.
there's not really any need for the quality assurance workers anymore.
Good point.
They keep on a small team for like figuring like bugs and stuff out, but they get rid of quality assurance workers so fast. Um, so I mean, we see this across the industry. It's not just quality assurance workers that are dropped. Like this happens with programmers that aren't like senior programmers. This happens with artists that aren't senior artists and all of that. So we see this happen a lot, but I think that quality assurance workers especially, and so I think it's very, very, very important that we continue to see unionization again, like across the video games industry, because it's really the only way that we're going conditions help with like job consistency because people deserve
Oh, little
that they're
robot.
going to have a job, Sorry?
Ethan,
You
did you hear what she
roboted
just
there for
said?
a
You went
second.
robot. So if you could
Oh,
repeat what you said,
what was
Yeah,
the
just
part that
repeat
went robot?
like the last
last couple
30
sentences.
seconds, or yeah,
Yeah.
a couple.
Okay, sorry about that.
Okay.
All I was saying is that basically like this is really important moving forward in the industry because people deserve to have like assurance that they will have a job, right? Like
Right. And that's
they
that.
they don't need to be thrown away all the time. That's just not
Yeah.
fair.
And that is an interesting issue to tackle because you got to think. I mean, I guess there's a reason why you release QA testers after you're done with the game because you don't have any work for them to do. So it'd be interesting to see how they could sort of manage having workers' rights and maintaining jobs, but not having a workload, I guess is
Yeah.
what.
If I'm gonna guess, what they do is probably they don't hire like the existing QA testers unionize, but they don't hire as many QA testers as they would have, but rather repurpose at least
So
some QA testers who finish a game onto a new project. But also, if you're developing a lot of new projects, eventually you need to expand your staff. So I
And
guess the immediate solution is reappropriating QA testers who worked on X game onto
mhm.
Y game, rather than just letting them go. I'm not sure. So the collective bargaining agreement for the union, this union is yet to be written and negotiated. So I'm interested to see how that plays out, and that's part of
So
it.
I think thinking of it more, this is the QA team that's at Zenimax, which is basically the umbrella company for Bethesda and all of its dev studios. So there's a multitude of development studios that are under this umbrella.
Right,
So I'm
that's true.
assuming
That's
these
true.
300 QA testers are probably working on multiple games at once, and they
yeah.
probably
Right.
consistently have projects. Now, that question that we're bringing up though is interesting with Raven Softworks QA team, where it's just a singular development studio that is working
Mm-hmm.
on one game at a time, maybe two games at a time. So that'll be interesting to see going forward in
But
other development studios what they want to do with these unionization issues.
yeah. Also,
The
when they're under
thing,
the Microsoft, sorry.
go ahead.
Okay, thanks. When they're under the Microsoft banner, maybe they'll be able to jump from not just ZeniMax games, but other Microsoft
Could be.
IP.
Yeah.
Um, because ZeniMax, it's now a Microsoft entity.
Hmm.
That deal went through, unlike ABK, which we're still waiting for.
Right.
So I think that could also happen where they just go across all the different projects under Microsoft's umbrella, not just the ones that were centered around ZeniMax before the acquisition by
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Yeah, so I think that like the the trade-off for companies is either you need a third party to do your quality assurance, and there's just going to be companies that
Yeah.
are unionized that are just like quality assurance people. So you either like do that and pay somebody else to do the QA for you, or you have to have an in-house team, and you really should just eat that cost. It's like you don't need them all the time, but
Or
like
repurpose if they could do another job.
exactly. Like, I mean, and that's yeah, exactly. I'm not saying that they just sit around, but like
Yeah.
those people can shift to other things. And I'm sure because there's a lot of jobs that you don't consider within companies. Like there's people that do community management. There's people that
Yep.
do like
Data
there's
entry, stuff like
mhm.
that. Yeah.
There's so many small jobs that have to get done that you could repurpose. But the thing is like I don't know. I know that it's what game companies do and they just get rid of all of these workers, but man, it sucks.
Yeah, it's tough.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah, well said.
All right, Bree.
Oh yeah, next
Story
story.
number 3.
All right, reflecting on a big year to come for The Last of Us from Neil Druckmann. Before we get into this, I'm going to read my side note here. Neil did an interview with The Hollywood Reporter. We didn't include the information here because it's mostly stuff that if you've played The Last of Us, you would already know. It was like an interview for the TV show. But it has some really cool details in it of like how he came up with the story, the origin of like The Last of Us and stuff like that. I highly recommend reading through it. It was really good. But it's not going to get covered here. So, anyways, The Last of Us turns 10 years in June 2023. The franchise sold more than 37 million copies as of December 2022. Part 1 PC version appears on March 3rd, 2023, with more news on the PC features later, as well as like specifications and stuff. They said later this year, we will begin to offer you some details on our ambitious The Last of Us multiplayer game. End quote. They also released a piece of concept art that looks like a worn down ship in the middle of a flooded street. The Last of Us TV show premieres on HBO and HBO Max on January 15th, focusing on the events of the first game. So, what a
All right.
time to be a The Last of Us fan.
All right. I gotta
Yeah.
say, Bree, the way Neil talked about factions, I don't think this game's coming out this year, and you're gonna get destroyed in
You're gonna
Fantasy
eat
Critic.
that cause, yeah.
He was like, "We're coming out with the first details of, or the first beginning, details, or I forget the exact quote, or actually, no, I have the quote right here. He says, offer you some details. Later this year, we will begin to offer you, like you said the quote, later this year, we'll begin to offer you some details on our ambitious The Last of Us multiplayer game." I don't think that means it's coming out this year at
How
all,
much
Bree.
later?
I'm
E3
scared.
later.
I'm scared.
Well, they had said that it was coming out this year already.
What? When?
So
Where?
I can't remember when,
Oh
but I
God.
feel like they said that it was coming out. Like I don't think that they like had specified when, but I feel like they said that it was going to come out this year. Maybe I'm crazy. But I don't know. I don't see why this game wouldn't come out this year because with multiplayer games like obviously you need the full game to launch, but multiplayer games, especially what it sounds like they're doing, um do a lot of growing after they come out.
That shouldn't be the standard, though. It should come out with a very
I
big
disagree because like
suite of
Valorant.
content.
Well,
Because
it should
look at
come
what
with a big
happened to
suite of
Halo
content,
Infinite.
but it's going to be a live service factions, or it might be a live service. I think knowing Sony, I think it'll be a live service game. They're trying to get a lot of
Yeah.
money out of it, but it could at least release with a lot of content. But they're just going to add more to it and more to it.
Right. So I mean like that's what I'm saying is so like for something like Valorant, like that only launched with like 3 maps, I think, maybe 4. But I still think it's like a fantastic game and obviously they've added a bunch of maps and like agents and stuff like that now, but I don't think you necessarily have to launch with all the content for multiplayer games. Specifically because it is like a live service game where you like get DLC packs, get more characters, stuff like that. I guess we don't really know what they're doing with this game. Like we haven't even kind of seen gameplay. We don't know if it's going to be like the original
Just seemed like
multiplayer.
concept art, right?
Yeah, we've seen 2 pieces of concept art now and that's it. And it's like not even like characters, I don't think. I think it's mostly like background stuff.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I feel like they've been working on this for a while, so I don't want to like say like for sure there's no way this is coming out this year. I feel like it could easily come out this year because Sony doesn't really have a lot going on this year. Like Sony in particular, like they
That
have a
we
bunch
know
of
of.
third-party stuff going on. Exactly, which factions we know of and we know it exists, so could easily come out, right?
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
going to be putting anything else huge out in like fall because that's like Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is
So
basically taking over their fall lineup.
we're looking at like summer, late summer, like early fall
Maybe.
timeframe. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, maybe
Exciting times.
make it compete with Redfall, you know,
Mm.
release it near where because Redfall they said is supposed to release around May, I think, you know. So I think
Well,
that'd be a
I
good
don't even
time
think
for it.
we're gonna see factions until probably E3. That would be my guess.
Yeah.
So
If
if we see
Sony's
it in
at E3.
or whatever their equivalent is, if
Yeah,
they just
whatever
do
their
like a
thing
state
is,
of
yeah.
play or whatever. So whatever that is, and then my guess would be that we'll see like something around like a September release. Like they'll be like, oh, it's coming out in like 3 months or something like that.
Yeah.
That would be my guess, but I guess we shall see.
Yeah. I mean, it's all exciting. The Last of Us is a great franchise. It's a great video game franchise. Like I said, I played The Last of Us Part 1 remastered or remake last year. This is my first exposure to it, and I loved it. It was exhausting because I'm horrified of zombies. It was an exhausting experience, but the story was so gripping that I pushed through it. I'm probably not going to play 2, but this is a world I want to know more about. And the fact that we're getting an HBO TV show, which is
Are you gonna watch the show?
Is it like next week or something?
I'm
Yeah,
watching the show,
Good
yeah.
Lord, it's like
It comes
8
out in
days
8
from the time
days.
of recording. Yeah.
this is so exciting that we're going to be able to watch this. I'm watching it all as much as I can. I think they're doing a weekly release schedule, right? They're
Just
not
watch
going to
like
drop it
this,
all.
like just like be prepared.
I'm better with movies and TV than I am video games. Video games are immersive, but I think it's crazy. I mean, if you told me over a decade ago when the news came out that Naughty Dog was working on a post-apocalyptic video game, I would have said cool, but I didn't know it would take over the world. It feels like it has with all these different adaptations, and now we're getting a multiplayer standalone component, and it's going to be part of PlayStation's big lineup for time. I mean, this is huge for Neil Druckmann, for that team. I'm excited. I think, am I crazy, or did Naughty Dog say they were working on a different IP now? Like they're working on something else right now.
It seems like yeah, so there was a news story about it. So they said that they were working on something else.
But then we've also heard talks about The Last of Us Part 3.
Right. So my guess, because do they have 2 teams or 3 teams over there? I can't remember.
I would assume
think
3
they have
teams.
2. I feel like they have 2, but they could be 3. But my guess is that like they have one of the teams working on the new IP, probably not going to see that for another
Oh yeah, it's gonna
2
be
years.
PS6. Who
Yeah,
knows?
and then once we start hearing about faction stuff, I assume the factions team, they're gonna have like a dedicated team of people. But I assume like some of the bulk of the team is going to start moving to like Last of Us Part 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's exciting. That team, I mean, to me, is one of the premier video game developers in the country, in the world, for crying out loud. I mean, they can do no wrong in my eyes right now. I know a lot of people, there's divisiveness about The Last of Us Part 2. I'm not even going to begin to try and touch that because I haven't played the game and I don't know. But
I'm so eager to hear your thoughts when you
But
do.
still, the gameplay, all that stuff, it's undeniable that Naughty Dog is one of the premier game developers out there. So they got so much stuff in the pipeline, and I'm excited for it.
The Last of Us Part 2, regardless of how you feel on the story, you cannot tell me the gameplay systems in The Last of Us Part 2 aren't some of the tightest systems in a third-person shooter that I've ever seen. Like, I'm serious. Like, it is, the gunplay is, and the combat is so good in The Last of Us Part 2. It is nuts. And Last of Us Part 3, if they just let me play as Abby and like beat the shit out of everyone, I'm okay with it. But like Abby only, just fist fights only.
I really want to. So there's the people in the first game that you follow their story, but you never see them. I think
I've heard this and I forgot about them.
What happens with those people.
See, that would have been great to see in the show. I would have loved in the show if,
like, we don't know, it could be.
Oh yeah, I guess I'm fine if they retell the first game story for people who've never experienced the franchise before. But it would be great to hear about a novel story or a side story in the game's universe.
They did say they were adding stuff.
Okay. Oh yeah, right. They did say they were adding stuff. So I'm excited to see what they add.
Yeah.
What they show that isn't obvious. to someone who's expecting things from the show. Yeah,
I'm sure they'll have a bunch of really cool stuff. They had like one of the trailers that recently dropped when I was watching it. I like literally I knew what spot of the game that it was in.
Yeah.
Even though it was like the trailer from the show. Like I was like, I literally know where that is. Like I know how many enemies are in that room. Like I know where everything is.
Yeah, I was picking up a lot of details from the game and any stuff I've seen about the show, and I think that's a testament to how not accurate. Well, yeah, I guess that's the word I could use. Accurate the show is going to be to the game, and I think that's great. That's probably because Neil Druckmann is working on it directly with the showrunners.
It's probably not like necessarily accurate,
but it
more
follows
of like
it
the
fairly
spirit
well.
of the.
Yeah.
They're taking the true spirit of the game.
Yeah, we're gonna know where people
that.
are and where people are going. You know, and we're gonna be
Absolutely.
excited to see everyone that hasn't been playing these games see their reactions to it. Like I can't wait to watch it with my wife and just look at her face when some of these things go down in the story and just be like, oh, you know what's coming up.
Yeah,
it's gonna be great.
My hope is that they don't have as crazy of a performance in that first opening sequence because I sob every time. Like literally can't get past that sequence.
Gotta sob
without just like literally like just like full. It's her acting is so good.
If they don't make you sob, I'm gonna say it's a failed mission.
I just get so tired. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's not just like crying where it's like, oh, that was so sad. It's like full like, oh my god.
You're probably gonna cry preemptively. Where you're like,
oh yeah, I'm gonna I do that. I do that too. Yeah,
it's just gonna be the HBO like the static like the whole thing, and she's just gonna start crying.
I will. No, like, I'm so serious. I'm so serious. I do that. I do that all the time. When I click play on it, I guarantee I'm gonna cry because I'm gonna be like, I can't believe it's here.
Can't believe it. 8 days. Wow.
Can't believe it's not butter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Anyway.
Margarine's not good for you folks.
Excited for Last of Us. All Last of Us.
It's good for the soul.
Yeah. We got some PS5 sales news from CES.
The
PS5 has sold 30 million units in total. Sony says it currently has 10.7 million units shipped in the current fiscal year, which ends on March 31st, 2023. And Sony's target by that March 31, 2023 date is 18 million units shipped by the end of the fiscal year, which leaves 7.3 million unit deficit to clear the next 3 months. I think that's unlikely to be.
I agree.
Figure's unlikely to be hit.
But when I saw the number like months ago when we talked about it, like I was like, no way they're gonna hit this number. Yeah. And everybody's like, well, you know, holiday sales, and I was like, so I don't think holidays are that crazy.
Yeah, Jim Ryan does say just last month, December 2022, was the PS5's biggest sales month to date, and Sony's goal is to ship 23 million units during the next fiscal year, which begins April 2023. And Sony thinks it can hit the 18 million unit shipped target by the end of this fiscal year, going back to the 2022 18 million target. 6.5 million consoles are manufactured in quarter two. This comes to us from Andy Robinson of VGC. Even with the holiday rush, I don't think Sony's making up an 7.3 million unit deficit.
Who's buying consoles at this time of year? You know what I mean?
Inside of 3 months.
I mean, I know there's birthdays and stuff, and there's people that do just buy the console.
Maybe the holiday rush is that good. I don't know if the holiday rush was accounted for in this 10.7 million unit figure.
I think so.
Maybe it's too early to know, or maybe not. So that's something. If it is accounted for, and that's included in the 10.7 million unit figure, they're not hitting it by March 31st, in my opinion.
I mean, I don't think they're hitting that number, but I did look at the overall health of sales for the PlayStation 5, and what I did is I compared it to the same time frame of the PlayStation 4. Now, it is lower, but not by much, and I think that's impressive because the PS4 didn't have the pandemic, didn't have the supply constraints, didn't have an economic crisis that it went through. I don't remember there being an economic crisis in like 2013, 14, or anything like that. It was relatively normal. So the PlayStation 5 is in a much more volatile market, and it's still keeping up the pace. And I still feel like we're in that period where every console that's being manufactured is being sold fairly quickly once it gets out of the plant and onto shelves, right? So, I mean, really, it's up to Sony, but how much can you guys manufacture? How many chips do you have? How much parts do you have? How much money do you have to manufacture these consoles? And how much can you get out to market in time?
And I think that they're gaslighting themselves because I don't think they have the parts.
It's like, we want to sell 37 million, but we're only making 10 million consoles.
That's what I'm saying.
And then next month, we sold 10 million consoles, guys. So we did meet our mark.
They set the targets to keep investors and shareholders happy.
But that's the problem, is if they don't meet those targets, that's what caused stock prices to go down. So if you're setting your goals ridiculously high and you aren't even manufacturing enough consoles to meet the goals, then you're just shooting yourself in the foot.
You know what?
That's for them to worry about.
Right.
Maybe we'll be like, exactly. Maybe, you know what? In April, we'll be like, wow, they hit their numbers and I'm super impressed.
Yeah.
But like,
we'll see.
They counted scalper sales.
And the thing is like, I'm not even like, it's not that I don't want them to succeed. Obviously, I want them to sell a bunch of units.
Yeah.
Like, the more units they sell, the better games we get, so on and so forth. But like, you guys are being a little crazy. You know what I mean? Like, rein it back a little bit.
Yeah, but that's how it goes.
Yeah.
All right.
Next
PSVR
one.
2. Yeah.
You want me to do the next one?
This one's such a small story. I don't even think it counts.
Okay.
Wow.
I'll do it though. PSVR 2, 30 plus games on track for launch window. Gran Turismo 7 will be free on PSVR 2, and Beat Saber is in development for the PSVR 2. All of this comes by PlayStation's Twitter.
These were all announcements from CES.
VR.
So
VR
yeah, that's what I'm
compares.
saying. I don't even think this counts. So we can just go into the next story if you wanted.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure we covered
Beat Saber's
it.
cool.
Yeah.
Beat Saber's fun.
Well,
I like
and I
that.
was watching Kind of Funny Games Daily, and they kind of brought up a good point where they're like, my concern is that they're saying it's in development. It should have already been developed.
They
should be launching with Beat Saber.
Beat Saber is developed. It's been a thing. I've played it multiple times. I know
Beat Saber, yeah, I guess Beat Saber 2, right? You're not. It turns into the. Sorry. It's Beat Saber port is in development, not Beat Saber 2. So yeah, it should.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was about to say, I thought it was going to be like a Guitar Hero sequel type port.
But them saying it's in development means that it's not going to be in the launch window, which is like so silly.
Yeah, well, the launch window's next month, right? When's the actual launch date? Like February something?
February something. I don't know.
I'm not buying it. Ain't got money for that.
I just still think it's bonkers that people are going to drop $650, $700 on something that you're going to play maybe one game a year on.
All right, then you're Ethan is throwing Sam under the bus.
Yeah, the gauntlet has been thrown.
VR.
I'm not stepping in between them.
Has almost no video games.
Okay, hold on.
I own a VR headset.
I want to play Half-Life Alyx before I die.
I don't.
I
Head
need
crabs are
to
going to
play
scare
Half-Life
me too
Alyx.
much.
I'm a diehard Half-Life fan. I need this game in my life. It's almost
too scary.
Almost as good as Rice. Like, I need it.
Rice is so good. Rice has not being that good.
Three things in life that I need: Rice, peanut butter, Half-Life Alyx. All right. I need
VR is good for Beat Saber, and that's it.
And
I was thinking about this. I feel like I don't like peanut butter. I don't hate
crazy.
it.
It's
it's almost like you're fighting for your life while you're eating it, you know?
What is with you and getting beaten up by food?
Oh, because she's like,
you get assaulted at dinner every night.
It's so thick, dude. How are you supposed to breathe?
Did your parents put like poison in your food as a kid, or like razor blades or something?
I don't know. One of my favorite things is I asked my mom for Uncrustables one year, or one day, and she like literally like made me a peanut butter. She was so mad. She was like, "You don't need Uncrustables." She literally took like one of like the sauce dishes that you put like whatever fry sauce or whatever in. She put it over the bread, cut the bread like of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then she took a fork and made the little crinkles around the edge. It looked legit. I was like, I can't even. This was so creative. Yeah. I can't even be mad.
Uncrustables are great.
That's what people do when they make like pierogies, and I know some people who make dumplings. They do that. They crimp the ends with the imprint of a fork, and that's how they make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Right. This isn't I Hate My Friends. We're moving on to story number 6. Gearbox acquires Captured Dimension. Gearbox Entertainment has announced its acquisition of 3D capture company Captured Dimensions. The firm has worked with entertainment companies such as Lionsgate, Sony Pictures, 2K Games, and EA. Captured Dimensions services include 3D printing, prop scanning, and cross-polarized texture photography. Jordan William will remain the firm's president and will now report to Gearbox's president, Randy Pitchford. Quote, this acquisition brings incredible technology into the fold for future products and enables further expansion of offerings to strategic partners across multiple business units, end quote, said Gearbox Chief Business Officer Sean Haran. This is courtesy of Jeffrey Rossio from at gamesindustry.biz. This is actually more interesting than what it seems because I'm on Captured Dimensions website right now. They got some crazy 3D renders of people's faces. I don't know if you guys seen it. They've worked on a lot of projects. They've worked on Fantastic Beasts. They've worked on a lot of Marvel movies, Disney projects, monster movies, John Wick 3, Logan, Joker, lots of big movies and everything like that. And they got a quote on here. You have an amazing 3D project. Our goal is to help you achieve unprecedented levels of realism. We bring reality to the digital world. Now, unprecedented levels of realism, is that something you would describe Gearbox video games as? And that's not a knock to them, because I love Gearbox. I mean, I love Tiny Tina's Wonderland. I played New Tales of the Borderlands, obviously all the Borderlands games. Those are very cartoony, actiony, beat 'em up, fun games.
I say Gearbox is stylized, not realistic.
Exactly.
Right.
And
so that's actually why I put this story in and why I thought this was so interesting is because does this mean they're working on something new?
That it either means that, but I think the more likely scenario is with this quote here. This acquisition brings incredible technology into the fold for future products and enables further expansion of offerings to strategic partners, aka anyone within Embracer Group. So Gearbox, one of the bigger developers within Embracer Group, now has a basically hyper realistic 3D rendering technology company under its banner and can shop this out to all of the different smaller development teams that normally might not be able to afford this service that are under the Embracer Group banner. Imagine that. I think that's a really cool possibility.
Deus Ex, Tomb Raider. Now they have those IPs under too, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The other thing I was wondering is I also wonder if this was in part because they already have relationship with all of these film companies and like these other companies, because those relationships like not necessarily like come with them, but there's still like that like personal connection, right?
Borderlands movie.
Yeah.
Borderlands is a series that could really be good for TV. I think like it's a Mad Max-esque sort of movie IP.
Would you do a movie or a TV show?
I'd probably do a movie for Borderlands, like a straight up Mad Max movie style Borderlands. I think that would be cool.
I would do a movie, but knowing how do I say this? I feel like actually I'm curious, like financial risks and rewards behind a movie versus a TV show, right? Theoretically, if you have a TV show that hits, probably making more money on that than a movie, but it's probably a lot more money to produce over time.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't think they're buying this to make a movie or a TV show, though, because one, a Hollywood studio is going to use its own companies and its own contracts to do any sort of 3D rendering or anything like that. But yeah, obviously. But I think I do think it's cool that now Embracer Group has this sort of in their back pocket, and it seems like something they could utilize in the future. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Can't wait for Embracer to give me an RTS game, another RTS game with realistic.
Now, can I tell you guys something that I just totally did, and that's why I was laughing while you guys were reading. Nope, I'm going to tell you anyways. The reason I was like, well, that's a small story.
Embracer Group shut her down. It's over with.
Bree
6, then I get 7.
Bree, you just cut out like.
Yeah, Embracer Group shut you down, Bree.
Your entire thing just cut out.
That's so sad. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, beautiful. What I was saying is the reason I had you read, I was like, 5 is like super small. You should read 6 as well, is so I could read Bloober Team story.
Oh, you want to talk about Bloober Team?
Yeah, no, it was a conspiracy because I was like, I wonder if I can get away with this, and I did.
I love Bloober Team, so I'm ready to talk about that. Too. Let's do it.
Bloober Team is feeling high pressure to deliver with its Silent Hill 2 remake. Bloober Team's chief marketing officer, Anna Jasinka, said Bloober Team was picked to make the remake over many other studios, which made them both excited but apprehensive. Bloober Team prepared a concept for the remake in 2019 for Konami at the Tokyo Game Show. Our company was thunderstruck when we received this ecstatic information because many of Bloober Team's employees were diehard fans of the title. As for apprehension, yes, the pressure is high since we're dealing with one of the best psychological horror games ever made. We want to stick close to the original, and we will put it in the spotlight for years to come. The remake is powered by Unreal Engine 5, also introducing an over-the-shoulder camera. Bloober is rebuilding the combat system and certain set pieces. Jacinka said the studio is modernizing Silent Hill 2 while assuming a very safe approach for the changes they make. They say longtime fans shouldn't worry about Bloober Team missing the point. Bloober is sticking to the story canon while remaking gameplay and graphics from the ground up. This makes me, Tom Ivan from VGC. This makes me so happy to hear, especially the point about the camera being third person over the shoulder, because god damn, their last game had the worst camera freaking ever. Medium had the worst camera.
It was kind of annoying. Yeah.
It was so annoying. So this makes me so happy. I loved the medium besides the camera. That was my only complaint with the medium.
Okay.
And if they can just like take Silent Hill 2, get those cool spooky graphics, oh, this is going to be so good.
To the point of them being nervous, they should be. They got the golden goose. Now they just got to sit there and watch it lay the eggs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just don't mess with the formula, Mr. Krabs. They got to just make this in the spirit of what Silent Hill 2 was and don't mess this up. And it's good to know that this is a team that are fans of the game, so they know what makes Silent Hill 2 a great video game. I'm not going to play it because it's going to scare the hell out of me. I'm excited to watch other people play it. I don't care. Horror games in general are screw with me, but it's going to be fun watching other people do it.
What about Abandoned from Blue Box Studios? Okay.
Oh my god. Do you remember that, Bree? You don't remember the whole Abandoned thing where people said they thought it was Hideo Kojima's next game?
And Silent Hill, and turned out to be nothing.
It was just some scam company that PlayStation promoted.
No. And then developers got like crazy threats, and then it was actually a real company, and it wasn't a scam. It was. You don't remember this?
No. That's crazy.
Anyway, I never played Silent Hill 2. I'm scared as hell to play Silent Hill 2. I need to play Resident Evil 2 first, and Remake, and Resident Evil 3 Remake. I feel like Resident Evil 4 Remake when that comes out. But I don't know. I want to get more into the third person horror scene. I'm just
so good.
So scared after RE7, man. RE7 I had to put down.
It's so good. Like I love
most 7. Hardcore horror game ever. Like everything from 7 is downhill. I feel like.
I just feel like past a certain point in 7, like I just feel like it's like there's a point in the game where it's no longer scary. But you're right. The first part is pretty atmospheric.
Village only had a couple spots where it was scary. But...
Oh my god, the dollhouse, man. The dollhouse. Anyway, so I don't know. I think that like the Jacinka is saying all of the right stuff where they're like, listen, we're assuming a very safe approach. Like Silent Hill 2 is already a good game. We're just fixing the graphics, remaking the game from the ground up, so that way it can exist in a more modern sphere. So they're saying all the right things. Let's see if they deliver, I guess. But I got you guys. I'm pretty optimistic. So
we'll see. Yeah. And they said this should be coming this year, right?
I feel like it was 23. It better be.
If it's not coming out 2023,
it says TBA. It says TBA.
Come on, Bloob.
2023, they're coming out with Layers of Fears, which is their own IP. So they are already coming out with a game this year, Bloober Team, and it's going to be their own game. So I feel like this is probably a 2024 project for Silent Hill.
We have like 3 games that don't come out this year. I'm going to eat paste, I swear.
Well, no one counterpicked Silent Hill 2 yet, right?
Yet. I might counterpick.
Ethan, you can't use information from this podcast.
Insider trading. I'm messaging Kevin right now.
I'm not going to say what game I'm about to counterpick.
Don't you dare.
Bree, that's for our behind closed doors conversations.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know.
He's messaging Kevin right now, just so you know. So if you want to drop it, then like right this second.
Counterpick.
We'll take a look at the stat sheet later. We'll see what happens.
All right. So
I gotta be honest, I lost it. I know it exists on the internet, and like obviously I'm not keeping track of it. I don't remember where it is.
Lost what?
the information. I don't know. You know where it is.
Information for what? Fantasy Critic?
Yeah.
Information
speaking
of
which,
I need the link. I just got to go find the link in the Discord.
Okay.
Everyone go watch our Fantasy Critic draft. We had a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fun drafting all of our teams. It was Brianna and Taylor here represented No Limits. Myself and Kevin represented X Talk, and Aman and Tom represented Frame by Frame and I Hate My Friends. So it's three teams, all with gonna be 20 games by the end of if everybody fills up their list. But we all drafted 14 games each, I think. It was a blast. It was a good time.
Listen, I did not. I needed like gummies or something for that. That was an activity and a half.
It was stressful, wasn't it?
That's right.
Well, it's stressful from both ends, right? Where it's like if I like pressure Taylor and Sam into picking the wrong things and we lose because of my opinions, then they're gonna hate me. And then if
Nine Souls was a bad pick. I think Nine Souls was a bad pick. I'm just gonna say it right now, Bree.
That's fine. You can say that. That one I don't think is a bad pick.
Convinced Kevin to put an Assassin's Creed on our list. All right. How do you think I feel?
Mirage is a guaranteed at least 70. It's
I know, that's
like
what I'm
75 at least.
Easy. I think it's gonna be higher than that, but you know.
Like the game industry at least gives it a 70.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Nine Souls is actually, that's like one of the picks I'm not worried about.
I think all of our lists are pretty damn good lists. I'm not gonna lie.
The thing is like, I think that we still, I don't know, like you guys, like we have a chance. And well, the other thing that sucked is that there were 2 big games this year and we went third. Like, you know what I mean? Like there are 2 games, like obviously there's a bunch of games that are going to be up for like game of the year, whatever.
But you got 3 and 4 pick. That was the trade-off.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's true. That's true. But at the same time, I would have liked to have Zelda. And I would have liked to have Spider-Man.
Yep. Well, wouldn't it be nice if you just got everything you ever wanted?
Taylor?
No. And I'm good with first picks because last year Fantasy Critic, I was first round of draft, Elden Ring. Bam. Got it.
Smart.
Locked. Yep.
Smart.
Locked and loaded.
All right.
Last story.
All right, last story. I'll bring it home. So Gran Turismo, the movie, got its first trailer. Sony has revealed the first footage of its Gran Turismo film during its press conference at CES in Vegas. The short sneak peek video emphasizes the on-track action of the motorsport movie, but doesn't do much to sell the story. The video shows the lengths the filmmakers have gone to recreate the look of the games with real-life race cars, and wheeling drone shots recall Gran Turismo's trailers and replay modes, while the gameplay experience is echoed in cockpit cameras and a remarkably accurate recreation of the game's highly angled chase camera. The film's cast also appears in the video, addressing the audience directly. Quote, "The movie is made for the cinema. The audience is going to feel every jolt, every thrill of this racing at 200 miles per hour, said Orlando Bloom. It's badass race car action that you're going to feel like you're in the middle of," according to David Harbour, who plays Hellboy in the newest Hellboy and the sheriff in Stranger Things. It's that David Harbour. And Orlando Bloom plays Will Turner in Pirates of the Caribbean. People who don't know. Anyway, there will also be drama and a love story. Where have I heard this before in a movie about racing? According to Archie Madekwe, who also plays Jan Mardenborough in the film. Gran Turismo is based on the story of the real Mardenborough, who went from playing Gran Turismo at home as a teen to a career as a racing driver, thanks to the GT Academy contest and training program. But we don't get much of a sense of the story from that teaser. The film will be released in theaters on August 11, 2023, and this comes to us from Oil Welsh Polygon.
Man, I couldn't care less about racing things.
Whoa. F1 is pretty cool, I will
say. Boring, all of it.
F1's
real racing, racing video games, racing movies, racing TV shows.
All right.
Boring.
Just
I'm sorry.
Watch a little bit of Drive to Survive on Netflix. The F1 reality show. It's actually really good.
And before anyone gets mad at me because they remember me saying how much I love Forza Horizon 5, I'm sorry. I was racing a C-130 in a Ford Model T, okay? Like, it's a very different video game. It's crazy sandbox, okay? But racing sims don't care, and I hate Need for Speed. This just sounds like a Need for Speed knock off it's going to be a bad video game adaptation movie in an era where we shouldn't be getting those anymore.
Hey. I'm probably not going to see the movie, but if you're excited for this, it's okay. Don't listen.
Yeah, go for it. If you're a racing fan,
Yeah.
I can't stand racing stuff, so that's just me.
Say, a side note, I think GTA 5's driving mechanics are amazingly good, and I would have loved an arcade racer with GTA 5's driving.
Yeah, much better than GTA 4.
Oh yeah.
GTA 4 feel like you're going to take off.
Yeah. Bree, I know you're really excited to watch this movie.
Gran Turismo.
Orlando Bloom is really hot. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
She was talking about it before the show too.
Yeah,
She
I was
loves
like, I'm
Orlando
not
Bloom.
interested in any of this, but Orlando Bloom. But in honor of the movie coming out, I'll watch Lord of the Rings. I used to have a Legos poster in my room.
Nice.
It's true.
You have my bow.
Like in my axe. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like, no.
Yes,
I
Bree.
see you. No, I keep saying no, but still no.
We're arguing about fantasy and our private fantasy.
He like literally wants
to
pick up this.
You
dumb
guys
thing.
are insider trading right now, and
no,
I can't.
we are not. We're not.
Trading.
I'm not. Okay, this isn't on me. This isn't on me. He's like.
Let me call my people.
I'm gonna bid on it. I'm gonna bid on it behind your back.
You should try and get him on Melon right now. That'd be so funny.
All right, you know what they're talking about. No, it wasn't him.
How funny would that be if he just like randomly showed up in Melon?
Hold on, I'm gonna call Kevin live. Hold on.
Do it.
No, don't do it. Don't do that.
No, that's hella funny.
Oh no, he's calling him on Discord.
Make sure you tell him that he's on the podcast, of course.
Yeah.
He's not gonna answer.
He doesn't have his phone number.
It's
on Discord. Says you're alone in this call. Others in this chat.
That means he
That's
like
really sad.
Yeah.
Wow,
it didn't.
Kevin.
It didn't.
Kevin's
it should ring for 30 seconds, so he declined the call.
Kev said on the weekend.
He said, "Why are you calling me?"
He said I'm busy with my girlfriend. Kevin says he has a girlfriend, and he says he has a job.
This is all a conspiracy. That's what I'm saying. Actually, that's not true. I know for sure. Actually, I think we have Amon's phone number somewhere.
I'm trying to insider trade, counter pick.
No.
Silent Hill 2. He said, "Okay, LOL.
Sam's
I don't do that
asleep.
show."
This is rigged.
He said, "I don't do that show." All right. He doesn't want to talk, guys. Come on.
All right.
He's all mad.
What a loser.
Good. Live messing with Kevin.
Live TV. Folks.
No, that's genuinely wasn't what we weren't talking about. Silent Hill 2. We were talking about another thing that Taylor keeps saying that we should pick up, and I think it's a bad idea.
Why?
Just tell it to me. I'm not going to pick it up.
Why is it a bad idea, Bree?
I feel like this is a double-edged sword if we say it, because I just feel like
no, stop. No, we're not going to talk about it.
If you're going to continue with this on the podcast, you got to say it because the audio listeners do not care right now.
But no, we're not talking about it here. Bree, we're not.
All right.
All right. Anyway,
we are in Limitless now, so.
Ooh, Limitless.
I mean, unless you guys really have something else to say about Gran Turismo.
No.
Okay, that's what I thought. We've got so many picks for Limitless.
He doesn't want to counterpick it. It's too much of a threat.
Good.
Imagine it does come out. We're going to lose all of our points.
Wait, you want to do a mini Ragnarok spoiler cast with me? Oh, no.
We could. I gave you guys a bunch of options.
All right. This is officially.
There's so many options.
As of one. I don't know. Maybe should I or should I not? Actually, I haven't done the full second credits.
Wait, if you're yeah, I was gonna say if you haven't done the second credits, like we should wait.
Oh wait, maybe I should stop listening to spoiler cast too then.
Yeah, because we full spoiled like literally everything.
Big spoil, yeah.
Okay, you guys, I was in the middle of introductions before I turned it off.
I mean, you can watch like the first 2 hours, right?
No, it's like an hour. Okay. It's almost exactly an hour.
All right, I'll go back and do the.
Our Ragnarok spoiler cast, that was like 3 hours.
No, the spoiler free part.
Oh, right.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
the whole thing was 3 hours. You're right.
But... Favorite track on the Ragnarok soundtrack? I don't know the song names.
Then
I knew the song names for God of War 2018.
Hold on. Was there a question asked on Limitless and I just wasn't paying attention?
No, he just said it, but he said it as in like he didn't properly say it. The question is, what is your favorite soundtrack Like, what is your favorite track on the God of War Ragnarok soundtrack?
Oh, come on,
I
you're
didn't
gonna
know
ask
the
him the
song
question
names.
before he hits second credits. We can't do that.
I didn't. He picked the
No. It was this song on the soundtrack. I don't think Second Credits is going to introduce a new song, is it?
It is.
Oh my
Yes.
god. All right, never mind. Jeez. All right. Well, PlayStation Game of the Year 2022. That was definitely Ragnarok.
We could do the second Limitless because Deathloop is a bad video game and no one cares.
I like the second to last because this is the only week we'd be able to do it.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Is the Last of Us TV show going to be good? Yes or no?
Yes.
I think it'll be. Yeah, I think it'll be very good.
It'll be fantastic.
Okay, beautiful.
It's got. I'm calling it. It's gonna win. I don't know if it's Academy Awards, Golden Globe. I don't know what the award is. It's for TV.
Emmy.
It's gonna win.
So
it's gonna win an Emmy.
About is the
anything
Emmys.
in anything. It's gonna win one Emmy. It could be in supporting whatever. I don't know.
I said it's gonna win a Grammy, but I was just kidding.
It's gonna win a Grammy.
Because
Number one platinum selling artist, Neil Druckmann.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Have they said anything about what's his name doing the soundtrack?
The original composer. I don't know.
I hope he does. Oh man, I started watching the Nier TV show today, you guys, and it is the original soundtrack. Oh,
I didn't even know there was a Nier TV show.
Is it based on Nier Automata or Nier Replicant?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And they're anime? Like, yes, it is anime. That's.
Oh boy, was Yoko Taro part of it?
I believe so. I mean, like, I think they're just pulling the story from the game. So far, that's what they've been doing.
I know. I'm just curious if he was there in a creative consultancy role.
I don't know. But I do know that the original voice actors are the voice actors, which I was like, wow. Yes.
Wait, Japanese or English or both?
Japanese. I don't watch in English. And I don't think there's an English dub just yet. It literally just aired today.
Quick
update. I played my 20 minutes of Nier Automata, the game. It was with the English dub.
It's so good.
Quick update. Myself and Kevin are going to be taking a wait and see approach. We want to let you guys shoot yourselves in the foot before we do anything and make
that's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart.
You know what? That is smart.
So y'all are going to panic and start bidding on stuff, and we're just going to clean up the mess. You know how it is.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're updating us on your strategies. I appreciate that.
Because it's not going to change what you guys do. I know.
You know what? I did see this game that you added.
I didn't add any game.
Oh, the Plucky Squire's a really good pick.
Oh, yeah. Kevin put the bid in for that. So we got that.
That's really the one that we just missed.
Kate,
$1, baby. Yeah.
I think that like we can have like a neutral zone here where we talk about like the I Hate My Friends / frame by frame team, right? They picked up Remnant 2 and Payday 3.
Payday 3? That's ballsy.
It says it's coming out. Both of them, they both say that they're coming out.
Payday 3 is either not coming out, and if it is, it's going to review bad.
We got to put Payday 3 on counterpick watch, man.
You guys can counterpick Payday 3 if you want.
I just looked up reviews for Payday 2, and it got like 90s.
Oh no, Payday 2 was great. I'm not worried about Payday 3. I think will have a great critical reception. I'm concerned that it would come out this year.
They have both. When I googled the release date, they both said that they've been confirmed for 2023. But
Payday 2 has an open critic of 69.
Nice.
Yeah, so it did not.
I feel like if you get 69, I feel like if you get 69, you should get like extra points.
No.
Yeah, that'd be a -1 officially, right?
Yeah.
Right, but because it's 69, like I feel like that's plus points, right?
Well, if we should subscribe to the person who runs Fantasy Critic is one guy. One guy runs the whole website apparently. And he has a Patreon.
That's pretty cool.
So subscribe to the Patreon, and then we say,
what do you get for the Patreon?
Could you? I don't know. Like,
okay, I'm gonna click on this. Hold on. Let's check.
No, don't click on it.
All right.
You can click on it. All right.
Communications are being made. Deals are being made in Washington and here at Save the Game Media. Things are happening, folks. Things are happening.
So you're welcome, by the way, on telling you that information. As a Plus user, you gained access to an enhanced version of the site with added quality of life features. The features are detailed here.
Fantasy Critic.
And then you get access to a special Discord for the $10 a month. The website Plus is only $3 a month.
Ooh.
So
access the Discord campaign for the 69.
That's $10.
We ready to rock
Well, I
and
mean,
roll,
you can
folks?
join the Discord either way. Anyways, yeah. So what all I was saying is like I don't really have like Remnant 2 is not on my radar whatsoever. Payday 3, I have heard mixed things about, but I don't think at the end of the day even understand what the game is.
I loved Payday 2, but I don't think that Payday 3 is going to hit nearly as close to how well Payday 2 did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the first Payday did garbage, right?
I don't even remember it. I didn't play it.
I feel like wait, maybe I'm thinking of a different game. What game is this? Let me look it up.
It's where it's a heist game where you cooperatively
Teams of 4.
rob a bank.
Oh, is that the one where
Super
you'd like
fast.
yell in the mic?
Oh yeah, you'd be screaming at each other. Guard the door. I'm getting the vault. Start the drill.
Yeah, but you'd like to
just-
yell at like the clerks in the game or whatever.
I
Or-
think
What?
maybe.
Really?
I feel like
Yeah, you could like yell through your mic at the clerks to in-game prox chat.
the game is set to be released in 2023. Do we have even a trailer for this?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
No.
You never heard of the Payday? Just look up a lot of Payday 2 stuff. Payday's a pretty cool franchise.
Interesting. No trailer for Payday 3 yet.
It ain't bad.
All right, well.
Time to
I
wrap
guess
it
we'll
up.
see.
Yeah, with that more unorthodox limb list where you talk about Fantasy Critic and might be a theme for a while. We're just talking about Fantasy Critic.
At the end, just scheme and plot.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like as long as I make it and everybody doesn't hate me at the end of the year, I'll be happy.
If we don't pick up the game I said we should pick up, I will hate you.
See, I'm calling your bluff there, though.
Guys, we got to do this offline. We got to wrap this up. I don't think audio listeners want to hear the backroom dealings right now.
All right. Thank you so much, y'all, for listening to the episode 26 of No Limits, where Taylor, officially returned. And and you can find us on youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia. And don't forget to check out our Discord if you want to hang out. Links are in the description. And where can people find you, Bree?
You can find me at Fabulous Brianna everywhere.
How do you spell that?
Oh my god. FABULSTBREANNA.
Thanks.
Sorry, I said no, oh my god, not because I didn't want to spell it, but because I was like, what if I don't know how to spell it? I had like a panic for a moment.
Well, that'd be an issue.
That would be
Fabulous banana.
Yes.
That's what my little brother used to call me.
Oh no.
That's really cute. Aw.
My little sister would call me B Nana.
Aw.
So yeah.
What about you, Eaton?
Discord. Come say hi.
Yeah.
Can I get on the Discord?
It's where I do my scheming and my talking.
Yeah. It's where Ethan starts to pick up digital games instead of physical games because he's displaced from stores.
I'm gonna find a way. A way.
All right. Thanks, y'all. Until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Don't eat cheese.